Hello everybody, and welcome again to my channel. This time I wanted to talk a little bit about activism. Now, myself in the past I said that I don't see myself as an activist, but I guess that when you speak out about something that's wrong, the definition of what you're doing is technically activism, so that makes me an activist. I try not to be categorized as a specific type because I don't care. All that I care about is that people know the truth of what's going on. But that being said, a question for all of us to ask is, for those of us who have been through that, and for those of us who have benefited from the work of others, a question we might want to ask ourselves is, what are we doing to help others to benefit from our experience? Now, why would I ask a question like that? Well, I'm asking this specifically because of the thoughts I have after watching the last Fast Apostate Hour. And of course, there was the legendary J.W. Fairytale, who was a guest on that podcast. And most of us, if not all of us, I'm guessing most of us have probably seen J.W. Fairytale's videos. We owe him a debt that is hard, if not impossible, to pay back. And many of us in the community have expressed our interest in seeing more videos from J.W. Fairytale. But let's stop and think for a minute. Does any of us out there think that Tom grew up thinking that one day he was going to be an anti-cult activist? Do we think that was his life's goal? And for that matter, for any of us that are out there making videos, was that our life's goal, to be anti-cult activists? And the simple answer to that is most likely no. We all had other things we wanted to do. Our lives were hijacked by a high control group, and we lost significant portions of our life to that group. So that being said, at some juncture, we want to go on and live our lives the way that we would like to do it, had this cult never been something that sidetracked us at whatever point that was. And that's a point that in some way, shape, or form, Tom kind of had made, and I support him on that fully. The body of work that he has out there is not going to go away. It's going to be there for however long YouTube has it up there. I don't know how long that's going to be, but it's going to be a good amount of time. And it's going to continue to help others to see things, to understand things, to commiserate with the body of work that Tom has done. And for that, we all owe him a debt of gratitude. So thank you, Tom, from all of us. But that being said, when we stop and we ask Tom to make more videos, have we made videos ourselves? What have we done to help? The amount of work that went into what he did is astounding and incredible. He spent years worth of time documenting these things, making these stories, making these videos to help individuals like us. Are we going to return the favor? Granted, we might not be as interesting as J.W. Fairytale. We might not capture as much of an audience. We might not have the ability to tell stories the way that he did. We might not be as funny as he is. But nonetheless, the more of us that get out there and will make our stories known, the more chance we have of reaching people. So I guess what I'm saying is guys like J.W. Fairytale deserve their time off. He's already done more than most of us will ever do, and that's appreciated. That being said, those of us who are engaged in activism of some form or another, we're doing it now. That's not to say that we're always going to be doing it, but nonetheless, those of us who are benefiting from this, if we're asking for more videos from other individuals, I have a question for you. Why aren't you making your own videos? Why aren't you doing something? Let your voice be heard. You have a voice too. Those of us making videos have expressed ourselves. We've put things out there. But those of you watching, listening, you have a voice too. Make your voice heard. The more of us that make our voice heard, the more people we are going to reach. So myself, I also never grew up thinking I was going to have a career as a counter-cult activist. That was never my intention. I've done what I've done out of a sense of feeling responsible for who I was within the organization. And the things I've put out on video have, to me, become largely repetitive. I feel as if I'm saying the same thing again and again, and this is why you see me not making as many videos as I once did. I very much so want to help individuals who are coming out of the cult, and I also want to help wake up individuals, but I feel that making videos may not be the most productive way to do that. I don't really know. I feel that what I've had to say has been said. I feel that I always want to be here as a support for people, that if anybody ever needs my assistance with anything, with the experience that I've had, I'm always happy to offer to them. And there are ways to get in touch with me through my channel. So I always offer that. That being said too, though, I want to thank all those who have been making videos and are still making videos. I think of guys like Joel with the Vast Apostate Hour. What he's doing right now is priceless. It's excellent work. He's getting people together. He has a show out there that a lot of us watch. It's a great thing. So hats off to Joel. Thank you very much for doing that, and all the guys involved with him. I think about people who started making videos after me. I thank you for that. And what I want to encourage is other individuals to start doing something. Maybe not making videos, but do something. It might be that you do something for a little while and that's all you got, but it's still something. But if we're sitting back here and we're watching the work that others have done and we're asking them to do more, maybe the question that we want to ask ourselves is, what can we do to help? I guess that sounds kind of like John F. Kennedy-like, but it's partly true. Those of us who have been through this have experience that is invaluable. The more of us that put our story out there, no matter how articulate or inarticulate, it's going to help. Our voice will become so loud that it can't be ignored. And that's really what we want. So we don't need 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people who own the stage. We need a large symphony of people telling their stories. And when you get that, what you're going to see is there's going to be a commonality which cannot be ignored. Everyone has their own particular story, but there's going to be a common thread that runs through them. And that's what we need. We need our voice to be so loud that it cannot be ignored. And we can't do that by having just a few people continue to make videos. We need as many of us as possible to do that. And you can do it my way. Put some little figure on the screen. Don't show your name. Use a fake name. And tell your story. Tell what's happened to you. That's perfectly acceptable. Or you can do it like other people. You can go out there and tell who you are. Talk right to the camera. Whatever you want to do. You can have a blog. You can... whatever you want to do. Just something that the more of us that engage in putting our voice out there, the harder it becomes for us to be shut down. So I just want to extend my thanks to everybody who is engaged in any form of activism. And I want to encourage anybody who has thought about engaging in any form of activism to do so. I am not going to tell you what form to engage in because that's totally and completely up to you. But I highly recommend reading Bo Joel's book. He has a very nice section at the end about how to, or rules, I guess, if you will, of activism. And I'm very much so in agreement with that. And after reading that book, I want to thank him very much for sharing a very painful story, but one that helps to really pull the curtain back on the Watchtower. And also, I want to thank his editor, Alexandra James, for the great work that she did in getting that book out there. So anyways, that's my video for this time. Thanks for watching.